Days of Our Lives 2026 spoilers. A comprehensive look at the year's most explosive storylines. Welcome back to NBC News Channel. Today we will learn about the issue that has gripped the entire Days of Our Lives fanbase, an unprecedented array of shocking revelations, family upheavals, and dangerous conspiracies that will fundamentally reshape Salem's landscape throughout 2026. The network has released an extensive teaser video that provides viewers with tantalizing glimpses into one of the most dramatic years in the show's storied history, brimming with secrets, betrayals, and life-altering moments that will leave audiences on the edge of their seats. The DiMera family crisis. Liberation from captivity. The promotional material opens with an intensely dramatic sequence originating from the depths of the DiMera family crypt, a location steeped in generations of dark family history and mysterious occurrences. Within this shadowy, confined space, Tony DiMera, portrayed by veteran actor Defiance, and the formidable Kristen DiMera, brought to life by Stacey Hyduke, are discovered being held in captivity. Their fates uncertain and their freedom seemingly impossible. The tension building around their imprisonment suggests that this is far more than a simple kidnapping. It appears to be part of a larger, more sinister scheme that could threaten the very foundation of the DiMera empire. As the narrative unfolds, viewers will witness the dramatic moment when Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, the family's determined patriarch, and the young Theo Carver Tyler Joseph Andrews, whose connection to the family adds another layer of complexity, finally arrive at the crypt to orchestrate what appears to be a carefully planned rescue operation. The emotional weight of this sequence promises to deliver some of the most heart-pounding television of the year, as family bonds are tested and loyalties are questioned in the most extreme circumstances imaginable. The lab results. A devastating discovery. Following the successful liberation of Tony and Kristen from their horrifying captivity, the storyline takes a significant turn toward mystery and intrigue. Detective Rafa Hernandez Galen Gearing, the show's steadfast law enforcement professional, will receive crucial forensic results regarding unidentified bones that have been subjected to comprehensive laboratory analysis. These findings represent far more than routine detective work. They carry the potential to unravel long-buried family secrets and possibly identify remains that could belong to someone significant from the DiMera family's complicated past. Upon receiving these laboratory results, Rafa will schedule an important briefing with E.J. DiMera. Dan Furigal, the sharp-minded businessman and family strategist who often finds himself navigating the treacherous waters of both corporate intrigue and family dysfunction. This meeting will serve as a pivotal moment where critical information about the bones' identity and, by extension, potential murder, abduction, or disappearance send shockwaves through multiple interconnected storylines throughout the year. Hospital visits and Bayview mysteries. The narrative then shifts to an emotionally charged hospital scene where Kristen DiMera, recently freed from her ordeal, decides to make a clandestine visit to an unnamed individual whose identity remains deliberately concealed from viewers. This mysterious hospital encounter suggests ongoing complications, potential health crises, or perhaps evidence that someone close to the family is suffering from undisclosed medical conditions that could impact future storylines in unexpected ways. Simultaneously, at the Bayview Psychiatric Facility, Salem's most exclusive and secure mental health institution, a peculiar and intriguing interaction unfolds between Rachel Black, Alice Halsey, and Sophia Cho, Rachel Boyd. Rachel, displaying her characteristic perceptiveness, makes a pointed observation about Sophia's communication abilities, specifically recalling that Tate Black Leo Howard had previously mentioned that Sophia was unable to speak. However, in this revealing moment, Sophia communicates through deliberate gestures and strategic nonverbal signals that suggest she is indeed capable of communication, fundamentally challenging previous assumptions about her condition. This scene carries profound implications. Sophia's apparent silence appears to be a deliberate choice, either a coping mechanism, a strategic decision, or perhaps evidence of something far more complex involving her mental health journey. When Sophia seemingly encourages Rachel to maintain their relationship in confidence, viewers are left to wonder whether Sophia is protecting someone, harboring secrets, or operating under specific instructions to maintain her silence, or selectively communicating with certain individuals. The biological threat, emergency response and escalation. The promotional material introduces an alarming subplot involving Alex Kyriakis robber Scott Wilson, a character often caught in the midst of dramatic circumstances. In what appears to be a routine moment, Alex will receive correspondence that proves to be far from ordinary, a letter containing what is identified as a potential biological threat. This terrifying discovery immediately escalates the situation from a simple mail delivery to a full-scale public health emergency. Upon this devastating discovery, Jadar Hunter Elia Cantu, the dedicated and resourceful investigator, will spring into action, alerting not only the local fire department but also emergency personnel at University Hospital. The implications of a biological threat introduced into Salem's medical establishment are staggering, suggesting a plot that could potentially endanger thousands of innocent citizens and create widespread panic throughout the town. This storyline promises to deliver high-stakes tension and force multiple characters into emergency response scenarios that will test their courage and decision-making abilities. Under extreme pressure, holiday magic interrupted by life-changing news. Before the storyline plunges deeper into chaos and uncertainty, viewers will be treated to scenes of festive holiday celebration as the Horton family engages in their traditional Christmas festivities. A cherished Salem institution has provided emotional grounding for generations. These heartwarming moments, however, will be abruptly disrupted when Chanel Dupree DiMera Raven Bones, the stylish and complex matriarch of her branch of the family, approaches Johnny DiMera Carson Boatman with shocking news that will fundamentally transform their family dynamic forever. Chanel's revelation is nothing short of bombshell material. She is pregnant. This stunning announcement creates an emotional complication that Johnny finds deeply confusing and complicated to process. The confusion stems from the fact that Chanel and Johnny had only recently made the conscious decision to adopt a child, believing that adoption represented their chosen path to building and expanding their family. The sudden revelation of a biological pregnancy introduces unexpected complexity into their carefully considered family planning decisions, leaving Johnny struggling to comprehend how their family is about to expand in an entirely unanticipated manner. The pregnancy itself becomes a source of genuine mystery and intrigue. Viewers will spend weeks speculating about the timing, the circumstances, and the ultimate implications of this unexpected development. Questions will inevitably arise about whether Chanel had knowledge of her condition earlier, whether the pregnancy was truly unexpected, or whether circumstances have aligned in ways that neither character anticipated. The expansion of their family from adoption-focused to now including a biological child promises to introduce emotional complexity and storyline developments that will resonate throughout 2026. Romance, proposals, and unexpected returns. On a more romantic note, the promotional material showcases the blossoming relationship between Leo Stark Greg Reichardt, the eccentric and unpredictable character known for his dramatic personality, and Javi Hernandez or Calderon, who has emerged as Leo's stabilizing force and romantic partner. Their relationship reaches a significant milestone when Leo makes the momentous decision to propose, offering Javi an engagement ring and a promise of a future filled with commitment and partnership. The couple's journey toward marriage represents a meaningful development in their personal storyline, with Leo expressing confidence that nothing could possibly disrupt their happiness and derail their path toward matrimony. However, this optimistic outlook is soon challenged by a dramatic return that threatens to upend Leo's carefully constructed romantic narrative. Dimitri von Leuschner Peter Port, a character from Leo's past whose relationship to the current situation carries significant romantic and emotional weight, makes a shocking reappearance. The preview footage reveals an intensely intimate moment between Leo and Dimitri, specifically showcasing them engaged in a passionate kiss at the prestigious DiMera mansion. This gesture immediately raises profound questions about Leo's emotional loyalties, his true feelings for Javi, and whether Dimitri's return represents a genuine threat to the engagement or simply a momentary complication in Leo's complex romantic history. Stephanie's desperation and Kat's sinister machinations. The narrative then shifts focus to Stephanie Johnson Abigail Klein, a character whose romantic trajectory has been building toward a significant relationship milestone. Displaying characteristic determination and emotional directness, Stephanie makes an emphatic declaration to her romantic partner that she has reached a point of absolute certainty she no longer wishes to delay her relationship's progression, and she is determined to become his wife with immediate urgency. Her passionate declaration suggests that Stephanie has moved beyond contemplation and indecision, embracing a commitment that represents a significant evolution in her personal journey. Concurrently, the mysterious and strategically calculating Kat Green Annaline McCord, introduced as a character with her own hidden agenda and complicated motivations, executes a carefully orchestrated plan involving DiMera. Kat's tactics are explicitly manipulative. She approaches EJ with calculated seduction, initiating a kiss designed to accomplish multiple objectives within her broader scheme. This kiss is not a spontaneous romantic gesture, a rather deliberately engineered moment within a larger investigation or conspiracy Kat has been quietly orchestrating. The next phase of Kat's plan involves a particularly dark and dangerous strategy. She subtly introduces drugs into EJ's beverage, causing him to lose consciousness and become completely incapacitated. This incapacitation provides Kat with the crucial window of opportunity she requires to continue her mysterious investigation into whatever secrets, documents, or information she believes EJ possesses. The drugging of EJ represents a serious criminal act that escalates Kat's actions from simple deception into genuinely dangerous territory, raising questions about what information she seeks and what lengths she will go to obtain it. Corporate conflict and family tensions. The corporate landscape of Salem experiences significant upheaval when Xander Kiriakis Paul Telfer, an executive with considerable authority and influence, makes the dramatic decision to terminate Brady Black Eric Martzell from his position of employment. This firing represents more than a simple job loss. It carries emotional and familial implications given the interconnected nature of Salem's business and personal relationships. This termination decision immediately triggers a powerful negative reaction from Maggie Kiriakis Suzanne Rogers, who recognizes that the firing affects not only Brady's professional standing, but also has ripple effects throughout the Kiriakis family structure. Maggie's tantrum, a dramatic and emotionally intense response, demonstrates the depth of her disapproval and the significance she places on maintaining family harmony despite professional disagreements. Her strong reaction suggests that internal family conflicts will intensify around this workplace decision, creating additional layers of tension within the extended Kiriakis family dynamic. Adding another dimension to the existing family complications, escalating conflict continues to develop between Tate Black Leo Howard and Holly Jonas Ashley Puzemis, two young characters whose relationship appears to be deteriorating amid the surrounding family chaos and emotional complications. Their personal disputes will likely intertwine with the larger family conflicts, creating additional emotional turmoil that reverberates through multiple interconnected family units. Scientific discovery and personal motivation. Within the laboratory setting, EJ DiMera will present Paulina Price Jackie Harry with what is described as a significant and unusual scientific creation or discovery. The specific nature of this scientific development remains deliberately ambiguous within the promotional material, but its importance is clearly established through its prominent placement in the narrative arc. This laboratory scene suggests that scientific or medical developments will play a crucial role in advancing multiple storylines throughout 2026. During this laboratory interaction, Gwen von Lochner Emily O'Brien offers congratulations to Kristen DiMera regarding her assertive approach to pursuing her personal desires and goals. This seemingly simple congratulatory moment carries deeper implications, as it establishes that Gwen recognizes and perhaps encourages Kristen's willingness to be direct and aggressive in pursuing what she wants. Following this acknowledgement, Gwen privately acknowledges her own powerful motivation. She desires Xander Kyriakis with considerable intensity. In pursuit of this desire, Gwen employs her considerable seductive abilities and strategic manipulation, successfully enticing Xander into a sexual encounter that will likely create significant complications within multiple family units and romantic relationships. The kidnapping conspiracy. A shocking return from the past. The narrative reaches a particularly dangerous climax when Stephanie Johnson becomes a victim of a carefully orchestrated kidnapping scheme. In what appears to be a predatory attack within her own officious space, where she should have felt safe and secure, Stephanie is incapacitated through the use of drugs, suggesting that her kidnapper has taken considerable planning efforts to ensure her capture. Initial investigation naturally points toward Jeremy Horton Michael Rourke as a suspect, given his history and various complications in his personal relationships. However, the promotional material deliberately misdirects viewers by suggesting that a character from the more distant past will ultimately prove to be the actual perpetrator. This revelation promises to deliver a shocking moment when viewers discover that the kidnapper represents a threat that Stephanie believed she had permanently left behind. The teaser footage provides a critical clue through a brief but intensely meaningful scene depicting Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, Stephanie's devoted father, engaging in a physical confrontation with a male character portrayed by Wes Ramsey. In this scene, Steve is visibly demanding answers about his daughter, his protective paternal instincts fully activated by the threat to Stephanie's safety. Wes Ramsey, formerly known for his role as Peter August on the daytime drama General Hospital, creates an interesting callback to his previous soap opera work. The significance of Ramsey's involvement becomes clear when the promotional material acknowledges his historical role in Days of Our Lives. Specifically, in 2009, Ramsey portrayed Ern Kent in a storyline that introduced a dark and obsessive character who became fixated on Stephanie Johnson to an unhealthy and dangerous degree. Owen's obsession culminated in his kidnapping of Stephanie, creating a traumatic experience that shaped her character development for years afterward. The suggestion that Irna, a character with similar motivations, might return with unresolved feelings and dangerous intentions towards Stephanie introduces a horrifying prospect that combines psychological horror with physical danger, laboratory intrusions, and rising threats. The promotional material also hints at additional complications emerging within the scientific and investigative realm, and Rafa Hernandez discovers evidence of a break-in at the laboratory facility. A crucial forensic work has been occurring. This intrusion suggests that someone is actively working to either obtain, destroy, or manipulate evidence related to the mysterious bones that have become central to multiple interconnected storylines. The laboratory break-in raises questions about who would benefit from interference with the forensic evidence, and what secrets might be concealed within the investigation. Simultaneously, viewers are provided with tantalizing references to what appears to be the rise or return of Stefano DiMera in some mysterious form. Stefano DiMera Joseph Moscolo, the patriarch of the DiMera family, who has long been deceased, apparently factors into the 2026 storylines in ways that remain deliberately cryptic and unexplained. Whether Stefano has genuinely returned to life, exists only as part of his family members' psychological projections, or influences events through posthumous revelations remains to be seen. That his presence in whatever form promises to reverberate through the DiMera family's complicated dynamics. Additionally, the spoiler material references a significant health crisis affecting Theo Carver, the young character whose connection to the DiMera family and his own personal medical complications will likely create emotional turmoil and force multiple characters into caretaker roles or decision-making scenarios involving his medical treatment and recovery. Bayview complications and forced institutionalization. Rachel Black will experience considerable devastation when Brady Black, her father, makes the difficult and controversial decision to keep her institutionalized at Bayview to continue her psychiatric treatment. This parental decision, while potentially motivated by genuine concerns about Rachel's mental health and well-being, creates emotional conflict between father and daughter, with Rachel experiencing her father's choice as a betrayal or abandonment. The forced continuation of her psychiatric treatment at Bayview will inevitably lead to additional complications, potential conflicts with staff and other patients, and likely exacerbate her emotional struggles as she grapples with feelings of helplessness and confinement. The implications of Rachel remaining at Bayview extend beyond her personal struggles, as her continued institutional placement will create ongoing narrative opportunities for interactions with other characters confined to the facility, and for complications arising from her resentment of being kept away from her father and her home life. Violence and law enforcement crisis. The promotional material culminates with references to violent confrontation of significant magnitude, including scenes of active shootout with law enforcement personnel engaged in dangerous conflict. These scenes suggest a climactic moment where various plot threads converge into a crisis situation requiring police intervention and potentially resulting in injuries or fatalities among both law enforcement officials and civilian characters. Most significantly, the teaser includes troubling visual evidence suggesting that Sean Brady Brandon Beamer, another key character within Salem's extended family network, has been shot during this violent confrontation. The severity of Sean's injuries and his ultimate fate remain unknown, but his apparent shooting represents a life-threatening development that could have profound consequences for his personal relationships and his role within various ongoing storylines. The DiMera family's defiant stand. The promotional material concludes with a powerful and emotionally charged moment in which E.J. DiMera stands before his assembled family at the iconic DiMera mansion and makes a resolute declaration. E.J. asserts with firm conviction at the DiMera household physical structure that represents the family's legacy, power, and identity will not collapse or fracture under the weight of the challenges they face. His statement suggests that despite the numerous crises, betrayals, and complications threatening to destabilize the family unit, E.J. remains determined to maintain the family structure and protect their interests. Looking ahead, 2026 and the DiMera legacy. As Days of Our Lives enters this unprecedented year of complications and conflict, the promotional material clearly establishes that the DiMera family's characteristically sinister and dramatic behavior will take center stage. The year 2026 promises to deliver escalating conflict, shocking revelations, and character developments that will fundamentally alter the trajectory of multiple interconnected storylines. From kidnapping conspiracies and mysterious returns from the past to corporate upheaval and medical crises, the upcoming year represents one of the most consequential and drama-filled periods in recent Days of Our Lives history. Viewers are encouraged to remain vigilant as these storylines unfold, stay connected to the show's developments, and continue following the intricate web of relationships, conspiracies, and personal dramas that define Salem's most prominent and complicated family dynasty. The year 2026 in Salem promises to be unforgettable, chaotic, and absolutely unmissable for devoted Days of Our Lives enthusiasts.